We've walked up to the top of Knock Nan Gabar, which is meant to be on the deer trail. We've seen a few deer footprints, but actually we haven't actually seen any deer yet. I was going to say this is after the storm, but it feels at the moment like the storm is still here. It is so windy up here, it's ridiculous. I'm hoping you can hear what I'm saying.
It's only since we turned the corner, actually, isn't it?
It's just this last 40, 50 yards or so up to the top of the hill. I guess we've been quite sheltered up until that point. And that's Arran that you can see over there, which we've just come from. And we're now on the Kintyre Peninsula. We parked at Century Wood, about 3 miles away, and we've walked up here, and we're going to now go back towards Henry.
Call it off, let it go.
We are now at Saddell Abbey, and we've just been reading about it. It was founded in about, I think the stone was laid in about 1148, and it was developed by Somerled, who was the man who defeated the Norse people and basically created the lordship of the Isles. And they decided they were going to build abbeys, and he said that abbeys and things ought to be built in places where there weren't lots of men, so there was no conversations that would distract the monks from their daily life. And they've rescued some of the stones from the abbey, some of the gravestones from the abbey here, and they're quite interesting actually.
Yeah, especially the ones around this side.
Yeah.
You haven't been around
really?
here yet.
Oh, okay, I haven't been around there yet. No. Oh, these are much better. Yeah. Oh, yeah, cool. The effigies. They're made on Iona and depict either men or women in West Highland armour, mostly men. It does say it's possible that these were originally richly painted, but obviously that's been lost over time. So this is a grave that we think is something to do with the Knights Templar, and they were obviously part of the Knights of the Crusades and things like that who, yeah, well, legend goes massively with these people, doesn't it? And we're not too sure what this is all about, but we think that grave with the skull and crossbones on it is something to do with the Knights Templar.
There's
another one there as well.
I was going to say there are a couple here as well.
Yeah.
But yes, the Abbey has seen slightly better days, I think would
I
be
think
fair
that's
to
more
say.
than fair to say that, yes. We've parked Henry only about a tiny little bit over there, and we just came out here to find this fort, and I thought it was over there on that headland, but chances are it's turned out it's a lot closer than we thought it was. We don't know anything about it.
Although in fairness there is actually a
there's an
detailed
information board
thing
there.
down there. There is, yes.
Shall I go and read it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Why don't we do that? Find out a little bit more about it.
Okay, I will do. I will do that. I will go and find out a little bit more about it, I will.
So Henry's parked just over there. But it's in a fabulous location again.
Kildonan Dun, this is, it says. Later prehistoric duns and forts dating from about 600 BC, it says. From here you can also see the fort at something or another.
Jill's never been very good at reading.
Sorry?
Jill's never been very good at reading.
No. It's basically an old fort that dates from about 600 BC. And I'm assuming that the people weren't very big because there's tiny little doors to get in and out. I'm assuming that was for animals to come in and out rather than anything else. And that was presumably the people's door. But it is stunning. It's beautiful.
It is lovely. Lovely location.
Beautiful view behind Roger, back over to Arran with lovely sun on it as well.
Temperature's dropped a lot actually, hasn't it?
It has, yeah, it's dropped a lot.
But it is, whatever time it is.
Well, it's 5:30 and it's the 22nd of October, so I'm not really surprised. So we are on Davaar Island, and we've come here to see this sea cave picture here, this painting. It was discovered by fishermen in about 1876, and they thought it was some kind of miracle until a local art teacher actually owned up to the fact that he painted it because he was inspired, came to him in a dream apparently. It's a beautiful picture, and it has been touched up many times since, including once where they painted over the face of Jesus with the face of Che Guevara for some obscure reason. Presumably it was trendy in the 60s or something. And yes, there's quite a few caves along here, and this is certainly the largest and probably the most protected of all of them.
Yeah, it's an amazing cave actually, isn't it?
It is. It's beautiful. It was a bit of a hairy walk to get here. A bit of a case of looking after your ankles, making sure they didn't get broken on all the slippery rocks, but yeah. It's worth coming out to see it. I think if you're in this area, do come out and see this picture.
Yes, and it's we had to go across a causeway to get here.
Which is only accessible 2 hours before and 2 hours after low tide.
So we need to be careful.
We do indeed, because low tide was about half an hour ago. So we just need to keep an eye on that.
Yep. Oh, very impressive.
It is, very nice indeed. So we're now on the other side of Davaar Island, and this is the lighthouse that looks over the Sound, Kildonan Sound I think it is, across to the Isle of Arran and all down the Kintyre Peninsula. And it is a beautiful day. Beautiful view they've got here as well. It does say in the summer you can see dolphins and whales sometimes going past. I'm not sure we're going to see that today, but it is lovely.
It's not summer.
It's not summer, no, it's the end of October now, isn't it really? So we've parked at the top of the hill here, and we're just about to walk down, and I say down quite advisedly, to the Mull of Kintail lighthouse. I won't sing, you'll be glad to know.
We have already sung.
We've already done lots of singing in the car. There's right down at the bottom there. It's going to be a very, very steep climb back up. There's also loads of deer just there as well.
I think I scared them away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And in the not too distant, actually, you can see Ireland.
Yeah, Northern Ireland is just across the water there, which we hadn't realised quite how close it was, actually. I wouldn't want to swim across there, don't get me wrong, but it's not very far.
Well, it doesn't look like it from here.
And no, it doesn't look like it from here, and it's not a particularly clear day either, is it? So I'm afraid we've wimped out, because we've seen just how far down that lighthouse is, and the wind is absolutely howling, and it's right against us on the way back as well. So we've only done half a mile, which has been completely downhill anyway, and we've wimped out.
So as Jill says, not only a very, very steep uphill, but directly into a very strong wind as well.
Yeah, we've decided there are better ways to spend our time.
Exactly. So back, have a hot chocolate or something.
Yeah, sounds like a good plan. So here we are today at the Ballandame Argyll Beaver and Wildlife Trust. And this is the Crinan Canal you can see down here. And these amazing wetlands out over the loch as well. It's very, very grey today, I think it's fair to say. It's hardly a breath of wind, which is lovely.
Makes a change at the moment.
It does. And we've come here hoping to see the beavers, but unfortunately he said they don't come out in the daytime. But we're going to take a little walk around a very small loch. It'll be about a mile or so, something like that. And hoping to see some evidence of the beavers, if nothing else. Spoke to a very nice man in the wildlife centre. He was very enthusiastic. And the beavers have been here for about 15 years, and they were the first mammals to be reintroduced to Britain.
Apparently, again, as with most things, a lot of controversy, people who wanted them, people who didn't want them. But
yeah, they said, a lot of people said that the beavers damaged the ecosystem and this, that and the other. So we're walking around this loch looking for evidence of the beaver, and he did say that the beaver lodges looked a bit like hedges and very man-made, and this is definitely one of them. This is where the beavers have piled up sticks and things, and presumably they're living inside. He was also saying about the fact that the beavers are very clever and they manage the water levels. So if the water gets too high, they go and they move a few sticks away from their lodge or from their dam, because they want the water to reduce. And if the water gets too low, they feel that they're going to be attacked by lynx and bear and things like that, even though they don't have any in Scotland. And they go and put a few more sticks in the dam, because actually the dams themselves are permeable. The other thing he was saying was about black felt hats, which apparently were very trendy in the late 1800s. And they were basically made from the lower skin and the fur of a beaver, not the outer fur, but the inner waterproof fur. And they were so trendy that everybody wanted one, and that was when the big decline of the beavers started, because basically beavers then started to be shot left, right and centre for their fur, for the black felt hats.
And that's also where the word the Mad Hatter came from.
Yes, because actually there was a lot of mercury or something he was saying, wasn't he?
Yes.
I can't remember where the mercury came from. I think it was in the beavers actually themselves, wasn't it? It was in the beaver fur. And then a lot of the hatters, yes, got mercury poisoning, because mercury for humans is not very good. So we are at Tanish Nature Reserve, and we came here we came here because we were recommended by the man at the beaver place this morning. He said it was lovely, and he's right, it is absolutely beautiful. But also we thought we could see otters here, and unfortunately, it seems like lots of other people have, but they're elusive for us once again. So the elusive otters still haven't been seen by us. But maybe we will one day, you never know.
No, looking in the visitors book, somebody saw them a couple of days ago.
Yeah, but not us.
No, don't seem to be around at the moment. But a lovely location.
It is, it's stunning, and it's been a lovely walk through the woods and everything today, so yep, no otters for us. So we're here and we found a fantastic little park up just overlooking this incredible view here by the loch, which is overlooking Jura, which unfortunately we can't actually get to, which is really annoying. Calmac have basically said from now on there are to be no camper vans on any ferries to Islay and Jura, which is flipping annoying because we really wanted to go, but there you go. There's nothing we can do about it, so all we can do is look at Jura from this perspective. Apparently on a nice sunny day the sun does set behind Jura and you get a fantastic view from here, but I'm not sure that's going to be the case today, to be honest.
And even when the ferries do run, I was looking at the prices, and to get from Islay to Jura is 10 minutes. Return fare for us and the Henry, £60. That's just ridiculous.
So we are here today on the outskirts of Glasgow at the Burrell collection. This is a very interesting collection of all kinds of works of art. It's got about 9,000 pieces in here, and it was donated by a man called Mr. Burrell, unsurprisingly. And he made his money through shipping. He basically, in the First World War, sold his ships for 3 times the price that he paid for them to the government and made an absolute mint. And then in 1930, he decided he'd been collecting various bits of art from around the world, and he decided that he really wanted to give his art to somebody. He tried to give it to various places in London, but they said no. And then in the end, he gave it to Glasgow City Council, along with £450,000, which in 1940 something was a heck of a lot of money. And they decided finally they were going to look for somewhere to house his collection. The thing he said was he wanted somewhere that would house his collection and would show it off in a natural environment. And they searched and searched for a place. And they found a place in the 50s, and then the government decided they were going to sink a coal mine there, so they decided not to do that. And then in the end they found this place, which is Pollock House and Park, and it is beautiful. It's a massive country park, and this building, which was opened in 1983 by the Queen, is in the middle of it. And it's undergone since then major refurbishment and was reopened by King Charles in 2022. It's a huge place. It's got restaurants, coffee shops, gift shops, all kinds of things, and huge amounts of art inside. It's got everything from ceramics, stained glass windows, pottery, paintings, tapestries, everything.
And it's all very interesting, isn't it? And they actually, all the descriptions they have of them are very child and stupid friendly, like us.
They're very down to earth, aren't they? They're not arty-farty kind of descriptions, which is great because it does make it much more real. And there's a lot of things you don't know what they are, but actually it doesn't matter whether you know what they are because they've put some quite interesting little captions by them or whatever about looking at the expressions on people's faces. Or.
And there's a lot of interactive bits. So there's lots of things that say touch me, and there's also screens that you can do interactive bits and pieces.
And it's free to get in.
Yeah.
It's really, really interesting. And it's a fantastic place. It was raining when we came in, but hopefully we can enjoy a little bit more of the park on the way back to the car now. Definitely recommend it if you're in Glasgow. We are here today at the Glasgow Botanic Gardens. We camped about, I don't know where we camped actually, Red Deer, that's right, that's where we camped.
Indeed.
And we caught the train and the tube here. The tube was a very interesting experience. It was very, very cramped, very tiny little tube train.
Yeah, I was hitting my head on the roof, in the middle of the train.
So that was interesting. But now we're here, and this is the Killer Plants exhibit in the Botanic Gardens, and it's full of pitcher plants and sundew plants and bladderworts, all of which eat the insects that land on them, which is quite interesting because I always think of Venus flytraps as the only carnivorous plants, but these ones are all carnivorous, and they don't look anything like Venus flytraps.
Yes, there's one over there that basically is meant to be the fastest plant in the world. And it closes at 0.002 of a second to trap its prey. That's quite quick.
That is pretty quick indeed. So we're now in the Kibble Plant Palm House, or whatever it's called. Palm House, I think it is. And it's very interesting because this was actually erected somewhere else. And in the 1800s, it was brought along the River Clyde and re-erected here for the Botanic Gardens. And it then closed in 2002 and had a major overhaul. Because this was originally an orchestra pit under here, apparently. They used to have concerts and things. They haven't anymore, obviously. But this was originally an orchestra pit under here. And they closed it in 2002 and it reopened in 2004. But it's amazing that they brought it all along the River Clyde, transported it, and then re-erected it here.
It's very impressive.
And it's now full of ferns.
Very impressive place, isn't it?
It is very impressive, yeah. The ferns are amazing as well, aren't they? The tree ferns are incredible.
Yes. And free to get into as well.
Free to get into indeed. We're now in the orchid house, and I didn't realise that orchids are actually the largest plant group on the planet. About 30,000 species of orchids. The second is the sunflowers, there you go. And there's some beautiful flowers in here. This is interesting at this time of year particularly. And it was saying that orchids range from several metres tall to tiny, very low-growing ones that spread across the floor spread across the floor. And there's beautiful purple flowers here. There's orange flowers down there as well. Absolutely gorgeous. A whole range of orchids in here.
And I didn't realise that vanilla is orchid, which apparently has no taste whatsoever, or it tastes like milk.
Until you ferment it. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, really? Amazing what you learn in these places, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. Well, what we learn.
What we learn, that's true. When we opened the door to come into this bit, the first thing that hit you was A, how dark it was because of the number of plants in here, and B, how warm it was in here. And this is certainly absolutely crammed with palms. It's quite amazing, actually. There's a set of stairs that got there. I don't know if we can go up them or not. No, it doesn't look like we can. But yeah, it's quite incredible. And you can hear the rain or the water dripping onto the leaves of the palms as well.
They certainly crammed it all in here,
They
haven't they?
certainly have. So we've been in the Botanic Gardens for about an hour and a quarter, and we've really only done the glass houses. And it's been very interesting. They've got so many plants in there. The Kibble Palace, the first place we went into, that beautiful round glass house, that was fantastic for its history. There was a nice display all the way around the edge about the history of the palace and that kind of thing. And they went into the older glass house, which had the palms in and that kind of thing, and it was amazing. They've got so many plants crammed in here. Very interesting.